What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Thank you for downloading, subscribing, watching the number one ranked show. We are on Instagram at the number one show. We're on Twitter at number one show. We're on Facebook. Wherever it is you want to consume us. One of the things I love about being digital first, and one of the ways in which we are trying to give you what you are asking for. And in today's show, I'm going to talk about Quinn Ewers and Elite 11. Going to reply to your vociferous and loud comments about my all-time top 10. And we're going to get into some, soccer of the national team variety and college football. Yes, I am going to pull that off. And since you are here, please consider subscribing and or rating where it is you are down listening to this podcast. Give a 5-star review if you're on Apple. We are charging toward 100 ratings, and I am very excited about that. I think last time I checked, it was like 84. And, I am not the least bit competitive. I'm lying to you. I want to have one of the most listened to shows, the best show in college football in the space, and you are a big reason as to how that happens and for whom I am doing the show, quite honestly. And to that end, let's talk about Elite 11. So I got a prediction. 5-star Quinn Ewers is going to win the most prestigious, what is prestigious? Recruiting competition in the sport for quarterbacks, and will be called 2021 Elite 11 MVP when the competition concludes on July 3rd. And Ewers is not just any 5-star. He's one of the best ever 5-stars. He is only the 6th ever recruit and only the 2nd ever quarterback to earn a 1.00 rating according to the composite player rankings. That's a lot of evers. The other 5 are Vince Young, Ernie Sims, Rashawn Gary, Jadeveon Clowney, and Robert Kimdichie. It means that Ewers is rated higher coming out of high school than Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Terrell Pryor, Adrian Peterson, Joe McKnight, Leonard Fournette, and current USC true freshman Corey Foreman, among others. And all of those players, every last one of them, are ranked inside the top 20 players of all time in the recruiting rankings era. Ewers is from South Lake, Texas, and South Lake Carroll High School. He committed to Texas last summer, around about August, before decommitting, which is only a word in the world of college sports recruiting. It's the only one we have. I'm sorry. And flipping his commitment a couple of months later to Ohio State, where it seems his commitment is gonna stick. He just took a visit there not too long ago. He finished his junior season in the 6A1 state title game, where he and the Dragons lost to fellow Elite 11 finalists Cade Klubnik and Austin Westlake. Klubnik is now a 2-time state champion, as is Austin Westlake. Klubnik is committed to Clemson, for those of you that want to know. But Ewers' latest comments, being a Texas native and flipping his commitment, reflect a branding problem for Texas football programs, including not just UT, but Texas A&M. That won't get fixed until they can unseat Oklahoma, or Alabama, or LSU, or Georgia, for that matter, if you're ampersand U. Reigning Big 12 champion Oklahoma is it. And then you got to, do what OU has failed to do until this year, because it's going to happen this year. I believe that we will win a college football playoff national title. So 247 Sports asked Ewers why he thought more highly regarded players weren't committing to Texas programs. He said, quote, "Probably because the Texas team hasn't been in the running for a national championship in a little while. And I don't know about other guys, but like me, I just want to compete at the highest level, the highest level," end quote. He's right, Texas hasn't played for a national title since 2009, when Ewers was 5, and hasn't won one since 2005, when Ewers was 1. Ampersand U has won just one national title in its history in 1939, during a world war, and more than 30 years before most predominantly white institutions integrated their football programs. You simply cannot ask a teenager to recall your glory years and your history as a means of recruitment. It's not incumbent upon them to know who you are, not when you're doing the recruiting. It's incumbent upon you to convince them that your program is the place to be. Now, Texas and Texas A&M aren't hurting in recruiting. They got receipts on the trail. Since 2018, the Longhorns have finished number 15 or better each year and peaked at number 3. Ampersand U has finished number 17 or better in that same stretch of time. though most of you would, know that they've become the kind of program, both of them really, that we expect to finish among the top 10 in the team rankings annually, right? Both programs get exactly who they should get, but the receipts bear out differently in quarterback development, especially stacked against Ohio State. Buckeye coach Ryan Day has seen both of his quarterbacks that he has picked chosen to start for the Ohio State Buckeyes drafted in the first round, Dwayne Haskins and Fields. We could talk about Haskins being a bust later. The fact of the matter is he got drafted in the first round. Before Haskins was drafted, the Buckeyes hadn't seen a quarterback drafted in the first since Art Schlichter in 1982. Todd, I've been practicing. Conversely, ampersand, you hasn't seen a player drafted in the first round at quarterback since 2014 when Cleveland took Johnny Manziel. Johnny Football, he of Texas Kill Country. We can talk about bust and Johnny Manziel a little bit later. Ewers was 10 years old when Johnny Manziel got drafted. Texas hasn't seen a player drafted at quarterback in the first round since Vince Young in 2006. Ewers was 2 years old then. It's not a recruiting argument that we're discussing here, really. It's one of development, as in one in who is developing their recruits that they sign. So Garrett Wilson famously told rivals as a recruit, he didn't choose Texas after finishing high school in Austin because, quote, I want to be developed. Yikes. And you know what? He has been at Ohio State, probably going to be a first round pick. But the main reason Ewers is going to win Elite 11 MVP is based on Elite 11's valuation system anyway. The quarterback camp claims 50% of the Elite 11 staff evaluations comes from watching junior film and performances on the field. And then the other 50% comes from in-camp evaluations and traits. Traits include stuff we can't teach, like arm strength, height, weight, speed, and vision. But before we dispense with the Elite 11, like, say, the Heisman Trophy last week, consider it's a good indicator of who voters will pick to win the Heisman and which quarterbacks will be first-round picks. 12 of the last 14 Heisman winners are camp alumni, and the competition has a large enough sample size to be more than legit. In fact, Elite 11 has been around since 1999, almost as long as the internet's recruiting rankings. And Ohio State has one winner in the last 4 years. And no, it's not Justin Fields. It's CJ Stroud. He is the player who exemplifies what the contest is supposed to be about. Rising through evaluation against other elite players, not picking the player industry networks like the most to hedge your bets against how a player performs in college or professionally. Remember when I was talking about bust? This is where that matters. I'm pointing this out because it's the only part of the competition's evaluation the haters try to discount the most without pointing out how Elite 11 evaluators get it right so often. Put down your haterade for just a moment, peep this game, and take it back to the streets to put your homies on some. Stroud began 2019 ranked outside the top 500, I believe 838th in the country, and rode the Elite 11 circuit to a top 40 ranking, winning Elite 11 MVP as a 3-star recruit. He is the front runner to start at quarterback for the Buckeyes in September. And other Elite 11 finals alumni include Andrew Luck, Trevor Lawrence, Matt Stafford, Jameis Winston, Matt Leinart, Geno Smith, Mark Sanchez, Tim Tebow, Vince Young, and Troy Smith, among many, many others. Brock Berlin, Matt Castle, I can keep throwing names at you. And that's where, we talk about them, but that's also before we get to Haskins, Fields, Lawrence, Buckeye quarterback, Kyle McCord, Oklahoma quarterbacks, Spencer Rattler, and Caleb Williams, both, Elite 11 MVPs. Lots of talent in that list of names, so it's not nothing to be an Elite 11 finalist, is what I'm saying, let alone win Elite 11 MVP. For these quarterbacks, it's only just the beginning.